I have to get it to the right amount of tucked.
You want to adjust your pants after we start shooting?
I didn't think about it beforehand. I need to make sure that it's tucked in just enough that I can raise my hands over my head and then I can relax. Welcome back to my kitchen. It's a different kitchen now. It's slightly better lit. It's gonna be 90 degrees in New York City today, and even with air conditioning, it just means that I'm gonna be in a constant state of slightly sweaty. But now that it's summertime, and now that it might be vaccinated summer, you can finally hang out with your friends again, but you don't know how to do that. You don't know how you're gonna invite them over. Here's how you're gonna do it. You're gonna have an ice cream social, and I'm gonna teach you how to make 3 weird-ass ice creams that your friends will want to come over and try. See, this is why I needed to tuck in my shirt the right amount.
Okay.
Hefty boy! This here is a fancy ice cream maker, and I purchased it specifically for this video. I used to be obsessed with making ice cream. My senior year of high school, a guy was selling an ice cream maker on Craigslist for 20 bucks, and I agreed to meet him 60 miles away from my house in the empty parking lot of a derelict Best Buy, which is to say that I was so passionate about ice cream that I was willing to give up my mortal life in order to do it. Anyway, I now have a much nicer ice cream maker, and I didn't have to purchase it from a scary man. It has rejuvenated my soul and my love of making ice creams that most people probably wouldn't want to try. Am I selling this good enough for you to want to watch the rest of the video? If you have an ice cream maker at home and all you're gonna do with it is make vanilla ice cream, when you have an ice cream maker, the world is your oyster. You could make oyster ice cream, and I won't stop you. I can't stop you. No one can. I'm gonna give you 3 weird ice creams that I personally love to eat. It's gonna open your mind to the possibilities that an ice cream maker can give you. We're gonna make a non-dairy pina colada ice cream, a peanut butter and lychee. This is lychee? Lychee.
Lychee?
Lychee.
Lychee. That's the British pronunciation. Let's hear it in American.
Lychee.
Lychee, similar. And then third, we're gonna make an Old Bay ice cream. What would you expect? Of course I'm gonna make an Old Bay ice cream. Of course I'm gonna make an Old Bay ice cream. Of course I'm gonna make an Old Bay ice cream! If you are a bit afraid of the ice creams that we're gonna make today, and you shouldn't be, they're not too wild. You can always go one step below the weirdness and then just make toasted black sesame ice cream or graham cracker ice cream. If you make these 2 ice creams for your friends are gonna go, thank you so much for introducing me to this ice cream and for giving it to me. I'll put you in my will. Whereas the ice creams we're gonna make today are gonna make your friends say, oh, do you have any chocolate? But if your friends aren't wimps, they're gonna go for it. Let's make some ice cream. Full disclosure, I'm basing a lot of these off of Ben & Jerry's sweet cream base #1. The beauty of the sweet cream base is that you can start with that and you can put whatever you want in it, and there's like a 90% chance that it's gonna turn out okay. Like, we have a bunch of leftover cherries. I could make the sweet cream base, throw the cherries in, and they might taste good. It might taste bad, but that's the fun about it, is you can try. Let's make it, actually. Now that I'm saying it out loud, we're gonna go off book today. We're gonna try. Let's start with the simplest, most acceptable ice cream flavor that I'm gonna give to you today. One that you're gonna say, that's not a weird ice cream flavor, and you're right about that. But the thing that makes pina colada ice cream weird is that it's non-dairy. A lot of people have bad experiences with non-dairy ice cream, and here's my theory why. It's because they want it to just be normal ice cream. If you're gonna make non-dairy ice cream good, you have to accept that you're doing it with non-dairy flavors, and that's why pina colada is such an easy thing to make in non-dairy ice cream. I'm using these organic coconut milk and coconut creams that are unsweetened, and you literally just use one of these. The only problem with that is that this is 13.5 fluid ounces, and this is 5.4 fluid ounces. Doesn't make it super easy if you don't have these exact cans, but I do, so I'm gonna just use them. If you can't find these exact ones, that's okay. Just make sure you taste it. That's the whole point of this entire experiment, is you gotta taste. Too sweet, not too sweet? Oh yeah, that's exactly right. That's what you do. Coconut cream, in there. This one only needs a half a cup of sugar. You can do this by hand. It's not a big deal. It's just faster when you have a stand mixer. You wanna get it a little fluffy. That's about it. The reason I like this as my non-dairy ice cream of choice is because, again, it already is supposed to taste like coconut. I'm a big fan of textures in my ice creams, so I put in a 1/4 cup of unsweetened coconut flakes. It is so hard for me to be looking at a recipe while I do this. Normally, I just kind of put shit in. Just gonna mix that up real quick. You might be wondering, Brian, where is the pina of the pina colada coming in? And it's not right now. The thing about an ice cream maker is that it's like a very slow blender. And if you put chunks of things in at the beginning, either it gets stuck or it just pulverizes. And in this, I wanna have the chunks of pineapple in there because it's a fun thing. Again, I like textures in my ice cream. So most ice cream makers have a thing like this. You just pour it in. This amount will take about 30 minutes. If your ice cream maker can just be plugged in anywhere, put it in a room you're not gonna be in because it's loud. And pop that baby.
Stay on target. Stay on target. Fire!
You pop that baby in. Okay. Okay. And now, we can leave and not have to listen to that for 30 minutes. Now let's make the creams. They all start with sweet eggs. Eggs? I gotta stop flying by the seat of my pants when I make instructional videos. No!
No. No.
Oh, this is unpleasant for so many reasons. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no!
You have to blur all of this out.
Oh no! All right, when you take out your eggs, immediately crack them into the bowl, okay? I cannot stress this enough. I know you might think, oh, we're gonna have raw eggs in our ice cream? That could be problematic, but don't worry, we're going to heat up those eggs by heating up the cream. The term for it is tempering, right? I'm not gonna say you're not gonna, salmonella. I'm not a doctor, so each of these bases are going to have 1 egg's worth. If I whip them all together, it's easier than whipping each one separately. We're gonna start adding in the sugar a little bit at a time as it starts to mix. I'm gonna do 3/4 of a cup today. Wait a second. Let's put in 1 more for good luck. 1/4 of a cup per egg is usually what I go for. A little bit more is fine, like what I did right there. All right, so there is 1.5 cups of stuff in here. We just need to put 1/2 cup of this mixture in with each of them. The math worked out fine. Let's start with peanut butter and lychee. This started because I had peanut butter and jelly ice cream once and I was like, this is great, but I don't think the grape jelly is what I want in here. So I was like, what about lychee, which is a little bit more of a weird sort of fruit flavor. And I tried it and it kicked ass. I gotta turn on that air conditioning. I'm becoming Sweat City over here. It's just 1 cup of heavy cream, 1/2 cup of whole milk, and now it's time for the most important part, extremely cheap peanut butter. I told you we were gonna heat this stuff up. The heating up is good because it not only will help temper the eggs and like make sure that they won't give you salmonella, maybe, again, I'm not a doctor or a chef, but it's also good because it helps melt the flavors that we're putting into here. The thing that I wish I had if I were to become a cooking show man, which I'm not saying I won't be, because it's obvious if I've got a knack for it. I just want 1/2 cup measures everywhere and I never have to wash them mid-recipe. Gotta wash another spatula. There'd be a million spatulas too. You just take this 1/2 cup of peanut butter and you just chuck it in there, baby. In fact, why did I bring out this other spatula? I am my own worst enemy. We're not trying to get it super hot and burn because that can happen. When you start to see the bubbles starting to form on the sides, that's basically when you're gonna be done with this. Get this thing blending up again. And then you're gonna put a little bit of the heat in there. The worst thing you can possibly do is pour all of the hot stuff into the eggs all at once, because then you're gonna end up with scrambled egg ice cream, and no one wants that. Maybe you could do that. Maybe scrambled egg ice cream. I already added one today. We're not gonna make scrambled egg ice cream. The peanut butter mixture right now looks like it's a little bit separated But that's all gonna come out in the process, I promise. Once you've put in like half of it, you can just dump the rest in and it'll be fine. And that's the peanut butter part of the peanut butter and lychee ice cream. So you can pop it into a container. The best thing to do is to chill this for a bit before you put it into the ice cream maker. When you're finished with the next ice creams, this one will probably be cooled down enough to pop into the ice cream maker. And so you can just keep it moving, keep it going. Speaking of keeping it going, what am I gonna do next, baby? Gonna have to wash all these dishes right now. Let's go ahead and do the unplanned cherry vanilla based off of the fact that we have a bunch of nice cherries that are gonna go bad in a few days. I've already brought out the portion of the sweet eggs that we need, and I've already got the cup of cream and half cup of milk. I'm just gonna pop this right back into the pot. Let's use all of them. I think that one's for me. I'm gonna put these into the sweet cream mixture while it's heating up. I hope that it works out, but if it doesn't, I'll just cut it out of the video. Food Network can't get enough of me right now. I'm sorry, are you telling me that he's untrained and he also decides to do completely different things on the fly on the day of filming? Sign me up for that, host. Let's get some vanilla extract. So like a half a teaspoon. You'd never wanna skip the pinch of salt. You never wanna skip it because it brings everything out. And I know
Put it in the last one.
Yes, Karen, I did skip it. When you're making these kinds of things that have chunks in them, you are bringing this very close to my face right now. Oh, this is okay. Oh, hello. If you want to have chunks that don't get blended, you gotta add them in after the blending process. But for this one, I want these chunks to be kind of blended. So that's why I'm cooking them in it. Will this turn out good? 80% of the time it turns out pretty interesting and fun. The thing I want to teach you today is, just like me, cook what your heart dreams. And sometimes your dreams end up sucking. All right, that's bubbling now. A little bit in. Let it mix up. Let's have a little taste of this hot cherry mess I've made. Oh, that might be good. We're gonna pop this into a thing, make it cooler. It's basically fully, oh, it's so cold on my hands. It's basically fully frozen now. What I have here is a quarter of a fresh pineapple. It's fun to get different textures in your ice cream. So I'll cut these ones super small, and then I'll cut the other part a little chunkier. Oh yeah, it comes right out. It's good. You could probably do less pineapple than I do, but I just love pineapple flavor. And so I found that a quarter of a full pineapple is what works well. You could also use canned ringed pineapple. I've found that that works fine too. So once it feels mostly incorporated, kind of looks like this. It's so good because it's non-dairy. It's light, it's refreshing, and also, if you're lactose intolerant, you're not gonna fart. If I'm gonna have a freaking ice cream social and invite all my friends over to my house, I don't want them farting up the place. But also, I wouldn't even mind. That's true love and care, is when you can just rip a toot right next to your best friend. Perfect size for a quart container. Pop this baby into the freezer, let it set for a bit. Peanut butter feels cool enough now, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that baby into the ice cream maker. Now we need to make the jam. The lychee jam takes less time than that will take. It's like about a half a cup of lychees, an eighth of a cup of sugar. We're just gonna blend that up real quick. No chunks. Primo. Doesn't that look just so appetizing? You want this to look like you've boiled a kazoo. The look is bad, the smell is great. All right, that's basically done now. This is gonna make everyone not wanna eat this. I think the peanut butter might be ready now. Second ice cream ready to go. Oh, it's so creamy. Pop this baby right in once it's cooled off a little bit. I don't want it to be fully mixed in, because if that was the case, I would have just put it in at the beginning. Oh yeah. Sometimes I worry myself. Sometimes I think, do you need to do the effort of making a jam and put it in there? But yes! One more ice cream, complete. Let's make the cherry. Actually, you don't even need to see this on camera because it's just gonna have to be made back there. I'm gonna go make the cherry, then we're gonna make the final one. So let's talk about Old Bay ice cream. There's an ice cream place in Baltimore called the Charmery, and if you're in Baltimore, go check it out. It's great. If you're not in Baltimore, frickin' rent a car and go there. They had a Old Bay caramel, I believe. I feel like there could be something that fits the vibe of Old Bay a little bit better, so I spent a week or two trying to figure out what I could possibly pair with Old Bay. Out of nowhere, it hit me. Cornbread or hush puppies are usually around somewhere when you have like a big crab feast in Maryland, and it's like that nice little sweetness that goes along with the crabs. Hush puppy ice cream with Old Bay? Of course! Of course, you fool! Why didn't you think about this beforehand? A simple, easy way to make this work is to use pre-cooked yellow cornmeal. This one's a great one. We don't want it to get super lumpy, although again, I've mentioned I appreciate textures, but we're just gonna pop in the 2 tablespoons that we're gonna be using. Keep it on super low at the beginning. Mix up all of that cornmeal so that way it doesn't stay like clumpy. And now we can start little by little adding in the rest of this. I was a bit astounded when I first had it, just how much it does taste like cornbread, but cold. I know that might sound bad to some people, but if you've made it this far into the video, you're probably willing to give it a shot. We got one final thing, obviously, and that's the Old Bay. If you want to be safe, you could just do like a pinch or 2, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna say a half a teaspoon. It's not just putting in Old Bay for looks. And then we put it in the fridge. Oh no, I missed a bunch, didn't I? The cherry ice cream is here. Cherries are well dispersed through it. I'll wait till all of the ice creams are done and then I'll do a full taste test of all of them. Into the freezer, there you go. That means there's only one thing left to do. The Old Bay Hush Puppy ice cream. Hey, I got your ice cream. This one is pretty well set. So we're just gonna go ahead, break them all out, and have a little taste test. We finished 4 ice creams in roughly 4 hours. I'd say that's pretty dang good. Starting with the non-dairy pina colada. Pineapple. Chunks freeze so good. Karen, I won't ask you to eat this because you're allergic to pineapple.
Just a little bit.
She's just a little bit allergic, not a lot. Let's rate all of them. First ice cream, pina colada, A+. Second ice cream, peanut butter lychee. This one is so rich. This is an ice cream you have after defeating your arch nemesis in chess. Karen, come have a bite of this. What's your opinion?
It was good. It's so rich.
So rich. The thing about it,
Thick and creamy.
it's thick and it's creamy, and the lychee, it deepens the flavor. I gotta stop eating that, or else I won't eat for the next 4 days. That one, rating it, A+. Let's try our fancy new ice cream that we did just randomly, the cherry vanilla. Just have a bite of this. Cherry chunks, could be a little smaller. Actual ice cream, incredible. Karen, have a taste. You see what I'm saying about the chunks?
I don't mind it, actually.
Okay, Karen doesn't mind the chunks.
I should add more cherry juice or something.
I agree. Could use a little more cherry flavor. Could maybe use some chocolate chips. I call that one first attempt a B, but with room for improvement that could make it an A+. And finally, Old Bay Hush Puppy. It's so good. The first time I did this, I just did a little tiny pinch of Old Bay. You couldn't taste it at all. There's just enough Old Bay in there that you get a little bit of that in the back of your throat. Granted, I am from Maryland, so I'm gonna be willing to try anything with Old Bay in it. Oh, it's so good though. Oh, it's so good. I just wanna have a crab feast and then be able to give people my Old Bay ice cream. Karen, have a bite of this.
It's tasty. It's funny because it's a cold thing, it almost tastes like it's minty.
Huh.
Herby in a way.
It's a little spiciness of the Old Bay.
It's good though, it's really good.
Karen says it's really good. Karen would say it was bad if it was bad. Karen does not mince words about food. Karen says good there. A+ for sure. A+ for that one. Folks, I hope you enjoyed these 4 ice cream ideas. I hope what this really tells you is to not be chained down, to live unfettered by the societal norms of ice cream. Just go wild with it. If you've got an ice cream maker, it is your duty to make something that is bad and then keep working at it until it becomes good. Because you are at the cutting edge of ice cream invention, and I need you to cut right through it. Speaking of which, let's mix them all together. Okay, a little bit of this, and a little bit of this, and a little bit of this. Thanks for watching today. This one's for you. Enjoy your ice cream. That's bad.